guys to understand that the percentages are going to be dependent on the calibration that's in that ECM. So these are just guidelines for you, okay? We've got 50% soot load is roughly when this DPF lamp is going to turn on, okay? So we see that DPF lamp in your books at the bottom of page 7. This would be something that's new if you're a driver in 2007 with a DPF on your truck, okay? This DPF lamp comes on for what reason? Why did they add a DPF lamp to the dash?
To let you know you're starting to get plugged up.
To tell the operator that they need to do what we call a regeneration. Okay, so this only tells you that you need to do a regeneration and that it's also safe to do a regeneration. You cannot do a regeneration using the dash switch if this light is not on. Okay, so that's a general rule for you. If you try to start a regen from the dash and the DPF lamp is not on, it's not going to work. Okay, you need to hook up a scan tool. Okay, now we've got a 50% soot load. This is stage 1. 65 would be stage 1.2, right? And then 75 would be stage 2. 90 would be stage 3, roughly. Okay, so I've got a chart here that breaks down the different severities and gives you an idea of what the possibilities are during each stage of regeneration. Now, you don't have a spot in your workbook for this, so if you want to go back to page 27 and write any of this down, feel free. If you want to just flip the page over and use the back, feel free. But these are general, these percentages are general, but there are 3 stages of severity for soot load. Stage number 1, the DPF lamp turns on. This is about 50%. We're going to have a 2639 fault code. And then if you leave it and you do not do a regen before you hit 65%, now your DPF lamp's going to flash. And it's okay, right? You don't get a derate and you have all regenerations available. So you can do a passive, stationary, or active regeneration, whichever one you want. Okay? If you leave it, if you continue to operate the way that you are, and that DPF continues to fill up and you hit 75%, this is where things get a little dicey. You've got that fault code 1921. Some of you may have experienced this before. Okay, 1921, this is your last chance as an operator. If you do not do anything after this, then you are screwed. Okay, you are stuck on the side of the road essentially because you're going to hit 1922. So 1921, the DPF lamp is flashing. You start to get a derate, usually ramped in. And the only option you have for regeneration is stationary. That's the only thing you can do. You probably can't hit a passive because you're derated. And a active regeneration is disabled. So the ECM is not going to assist during normal operation. Okay? Now, if you continue to ignore, which happens, as you guys all know, right? If you continue to ignore, or the engine is idling and nobody's in it, and it gets to a point of 1922, we are 90% saturated, okay, 90% plus, okay? The DPF lamp goes off. Why is the DPF lamp off when you hit that 1922? What's the why would the ECM turn the DPF lamp off when you hit 1922? What's it trying to tell you?
It ain't gonna let you do it.
It doesn't want you to do it.
Right.
Why? Because we may experience what they like to call a uncontrolled thermal event. Okay, so that is why Cummins turns off the DPF lamp at 1922. Now, if any of you experienced 1922, what do you typically do when you get a 1922 fault code? How do you fix it?
I've seen you guys clear the code and throw it in a regen.
That's right.
Regen.
If I reset the after treatment history and convince this ECM that I've put a new filter in, it is going to allow me to do a regeneration. So by logic, you're thinking, okay, this DPF is full, and that tells me, I know that when the DPF fills up, I need to regen it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the after treatment history, and I'm going to force a regen. Okay. Now, that's not what the literature would like you to do. What you should be doing is removing the DPF cleaning it, and then retesting it, or reinstalling it, testing it, and then putting it back into service, or remove and replace with a new after you've determined why you hit that 1922. Okay, why did we get to that in the first place? And there's a number of reasons why you could reach a 1922. Okay, but you're not supposed to regen at a 1922 because you may end up with a situation like this. Okay, so all of us probably at some point have seen something similar, right? We've got a DPF here, it's melted and cracked. Okay, what is the